We've all heard the saying, your vibe attracts your tribe. So if you are running around the world, people pleasing, being anxious, comparing yourself to others, judging others, afraid what people think of you, scared to show up, not getting out of bed in the morning, eating loads of processed food, you're going to be attracting this into your life. Your energy is like a magnet. You can go on dating apps, you can swipe on people, and you think what you read is what you get. But first, your energy dictates how you show up. So if you are constantly waking up in the morning, you're so depressed, you're so sad, you're scrolling on your phone, but on your dating app, you're saying that you're adventurous and outgoing, there's a bit of a mismatch here. So you have to really be careful on the words that you're saying, the words that you're speaking, and the energy of yourself. If you are on your dating app saying that you're an adventurous, outgoing person, are you actually living that in your life? Because if you're not, you're probably going to attract someone into your life who's going to pull your hair out thinking that this is who you are, and it's not. So the first thing I'm going to suggest for you here is to know yourself and just to be honest with that. If you're a person that likes slow mornings, like you like breakfast in bed, you like your coffee in bed, you like your man to get it for you, just be honest with that. Because there's no point in saying that this is who you are, because when you attract that in, your relationship is not going to last because you're not on the same frequency. It's the same as saying, yes, you're into healthy foods, going to vegan cafes, and you love cooking at home, but really all you do is eating Uber Eats and McDonald's. Can you see there is a mismatch here? There's nothing wrong with it. You just have to get clear on who you are and what you're wanting in your life. So for example, are you someone who likes to wake up in the morning and eat healthy food? Or are you someone who prefers slow mornings and McDonald's? Just own it, just be honest. And then you're probably thinking, oh yeah, do you know what? I'm true, I'm a little bit embarrassed that I scroll on my phone in the morning, I only eat McDonald's. Well, the reality is at the end of the day, this is who you are. All the videos on my channel, I really create them to help you become a better version of yourself, to boost that confidence, to find that self-love, and actually end up in relationships that are healthy for you, and they're not gonna make you anxious or like you're walking on eggshells. So there, we've got a little bit more clarity on your health and well-being. Then we go into the next spot. How do you like to spend your weekends? How do you like to spend your day? Are you someone who enjoys going to the cinema? Or do you more prefer going to the beach? Do you like going out at night, or do you like going to the theme park with your friends or your family? Get clear and specific on how you are currently spending your days and your weeks. And then looking at your days and your weeks, okay, is this something that I want to do with my partner or not? Obviously, we have things that we just want to do individually by ourselves and with our friends, and different things with your partner. I am a relationships therapist, and one fundamental core need in a relationship for you guys to thrive is shared enjoyment. And I love sharing this one with my clients and how they go about dating people, because if you are someone who is going out on a Friday night partying and drinking with your friends, but you're saying that you don't want someone who parties and drinks and stays up till 5 o'clock in the morning, can you see that mismatch of energy? You may well be someone who just enjoys going out, enjoys partying, and that's fine. Is this the environment that you're wanting to meet your partner in? And if not, what are you doing there? Are you someone who wakes up in the morning, who wants to go for a long walk with their dog, who wants to get that green juice, that coffee, and maybe potentially go surfing, depending where you are in the world? Is this how you want to live your life? And is this you living your life? Because if you want to live like this, you are more likely to go and meet someone who is in that same frequency, in that same vibration as you. Overthinking, I need to meet a partner, I have to go out to meet someone. No, the best thing that you can do is going out to spaces, to places, to environments, to atmospheres where you already will go. That's something that is part of your natural enjoyment. And then when you meet someone at that space, there's a shared enjoyment there, such as, get a bit more specific, an art class, a yoga class, a sports game, you know, at the gym, a dance party. Anywhere where you're going for your enjoyment, you're naturally going to be more on the same frequency as someone who also is there going for their enjoyment as well. Over that, let's say you've got nothing to do with fishing, but you're going to go for a fishing trip. Obviously, you know, it can be fun, and you never know who you're going to meet, but that person there might be wanting someone who really wants to come out on the water every day with them or every weekend. Is that something that you're wanting to do? Or are you just kind of just doing it for the one experience? And it's really, really important to be so clear on who you are and what you enjoy doing when you come into relationships. Using that fishing example, this boy is on his fishing boat, he's grown up on a fishing boat and he loves fishing and he wants his girlfriend to come and do that with him. You are going to say that I love fishing and I love doing that just to make him happy and just to please him. And as you go along in the relationship, because you naturally are not someone who enjoys going fishing on the weekends, over time you're going to drop off that. You're going to be causing resentment. He's going to get annoyed because he wants to spend time with you. You don't want to be on the water all the time. So this is why clarity and really understanding your wish list in a relationship is so important for you to actually get what you're wanting in a relationship. There is absolutely nothing wrong with meeting someone with different interests and different values, because this also works. Remember, we still need to have our own individual self in the relationship, but you can see the example here. I have had clients before where they met on a camping trip. She was just going on a one camping trip. It was the first camping trip that she'd ever been on. And he thought that, okay, she's on a camping trip with her friends. This is what we're going to continue with. They never had that conversation of like, do you actually enjoy camping? He just assumed that she was on the camping trip and then that's what she liked. She was obviously besotted by him. He was really happy, healthy and handsome. And so they've carried on to that relationship. And as they've gone along, he has wanted to go on so many camping trips because that's what he loves, just the same as the fishing. But she is a bit like, oh, I'm doing it to please, and she doesn't like camping. Or minimum, she probably likes glamping, but she likes her nice, comfortable bed. And this is where the discomfort comes in the relationship if you're obviously after you've been dating. And hopefully we won't get to that point where we're causing that resentment, but just taking it back those couple of steps. Maybe you are on a camping trip, maybe you are fishing. It's not your priority, it's not what you love doing, but just be honest. Say, hey, yeah, look, it's not the thing that I love doing it all the time, maybe once a month, but then you can have that conversation with the person that you're dating, and then he can choose, okay, do I want someone who wants to come fishing or camping once a month? Or is this more of a weekly thing for me? And then you can then understand, okay, is this something that he can do once a month with you? Or is it probably something he wants to do once a week with his partner? And that is him owning and accepting what he wants in a relationship, and you just have to do the same for yourself. So what is it that you enjoy doing? And what I invite you to do now is grab a paper and pen and literally write down all the things that you get enjoyment out of and what makes you happy. And remember, this will change over time, but at this moment, you can just write that down. And then also what you're going to write down is actually what you want in a partner. Just like I spoke earlier, is that someone who's happy, healthy and handsome? Does he wake up early in the morning? Is he eating healthy food? We don't mind having that pizza once on a Friday night, but it's not takeaway every night of the week. Or maybe he's not a smoker or he doesn't drink alcohol. You have to get clear, because I'm very good at manifesting in this game, and exactly what I want, I get. So the more that clarity you can get in actually what you're wanting and what the relationship that you're desiring, it will come to you. But you have to be as specific as, do I want a morning person? Do I want a night person? Does he drink coffee? Because you've got to think, right? If it's a coffee drinker, that means you're going to be spending quite a lot of time in coffee shops. It might seem minuscule, but honestly, if you're not a coffee drinker, do you like, matcha? Do you like smoothies? Because the time that you guys are probably spending together would be just like the fishing trip, the camping trip, spent a lot around coffee shops. It's really easy for us to say that we want someone that's tall, funny and rich, but at the end of the day, you could have a tall, funny, rich man who eats processed food and watches too much porn and doesn't have a healthy relationship with his family. This is why clarity is so important. I brought up the subject of porn there, which takes me on to that sexual energy, sexual intimacy in the relationship. Who and what are you in your sexual energy? What are you turned on by? What do you like in the bedroom? Are you submissive? Are you dominant? Are you more kinky? How much self-pleasure do you like? How much sex a week do you like? You have to get really clear on this so you know more about yourself. I see so often in couples that come to me that have a mismatched libido. They're probably, a couple of years into the relationship, but it's been like this for a long time because they didn't have that conversation early on in the relationship. It depends on your comfortability and awkwardness or embarrassment around this subject, but I'm telling you, Sex is such an important part of a relationship, and you need to have understanding who you are and what you want before you come into relationships, such as, I'm more so someone who loves intimacy, connecting and cuddles on the couch over having boom boom in the bedroom every night of the week. And so if you know that about yourself, and then he can say, okay, well, I prefer having boom boom every night of the week. Can you find a compromise? Can you meet in the middle? Or is that just a mismatch? Because there is a high chance that the clearer you get, that you are going to find that man who also enjoys intimacy with cuddling on the couch in the evenings over boom boom every night of the week. Can you see here? The more specific you get, you are actually going to find what you want. This honestly can be such a fun game. My clients love this when I get them to write down all what they want, and they give me 10 things that they want. I was like, okay, now do 20 and now do 30, because you don't want to be someone who's a fit athlete, who's always out in training, and you don't want to have someone in your relationship who is unhealthy, eating McDonald's, not pulling their weight around the house, not tidying up after themselves. That's just going to diminish your energy, your light, your spark is just going to be pulled out of you. You're going to be drained because that's not what you want, and that's not the lifestyle that you want to live. I'm going to move into something now that can be maybe a little bit uncomfortable. If you've had unresolved wounds or trauma or issues in previous relationships and you've just pushed them under the rug, it's probably a must that you need to heal these and cleanse these from your system and your nervous system and your rewiring, your programming of your body before you come into a new relationship. Because if you have had a habit and have the same patterns repeating in your past relationships and you haven't resolved them, you haven't learned from them, you haven't healed them or moved forward, there is a high chance that it's going to happen in your next relationship. I do work one-on-one with couples and clients in this space. I teach more of it inside the School of Sensuality. If you're like, oh my God, Katie, do you know what? You're right. And yes, there's a high chance that that is, but there's nothing wrong with that. You just have to get clear. Okay, look, I've had this before. I don't want this to affect me again. How do I move through this and heal this to come through on the other side? A prime one that I see often within the clients that I work with is the anxious and the avoidant attachment. So let's say, she is always anxious, so she is running after him, always waiting for a message, waiting for him to come home, but he is avoidant. And so he will see the message and not want to feel his emotions, so he will just run. Maybe not answer the phone, maybe not come home. And can you see the push-pull dynamic here of one being anxious and the one being avoidant? So if you're an anxious person and you haven't healed your anxious attachment and you're wanting to go into a relationship, there's a chance that you are going to attract an avoidant partner into your relationship. So what do you need to do for yourself to heal your anxious attachment? One of those, I'll put the link below, is the book Jessica Baum, Anxiously Attached. This book honestly changed my life. If you don't want to read it and you just want to go straight in, you can come and work with me, join the School of Sensuality, or just send me a message on Instagram. Look, I'm really here to help you and support you through this journey, because I know what it feels like to be there, crying yourself to sleep at night, wondering if he's going to come home. And then on the other side, the avoidant partner doesn't have always the ability to be able to communicate their needs and feelings, so it's easier for them just to move on and just to move through and kind of forget about it. When you sitting there as being the anxious one, you're pulling your heart out and your hair at the same time. Is that really what you want in a relationship? So it's really important to look, okay, how have I been in previous relationships? What were the patterns? What were my habits? Do I want that again in my next relationship, or am I ready to let that go so I can have a lovely, harmonious, happy, healthy relationship? Another common one that I see within relationships is when two couples come into a relationship, often it is the woman, because 1 in 3 women have experienced some kind of sexual abuse or sexual trauma earlier in their life. And so when women are coming into the relationship, maybe the mind has forgotten about it, but the body remembers. So you're coming into a relationship with this baggage that has happened to you previously. I know it's uncomfortable, but it's still there. It's still in your energy field. If you're bringing this into a new relationship with someone who is healthy, who sees you, who supports you, isn't avoidant, isn't anxious, but still you have blockages on yourself to open fully in intimacy or in connection, is a new relationship, is your partner going to support you in this? Or is that on you to be able to navigate this, to work on this, so we don't have this in this relationship? I do teach you more of this inside the School of Sensuality. If this is something like, you know, Katie, this happened to me 5 years ago, I told no one about it. That is exactly what I'm here for, to help you through the discomfort that has come up, because it's possible to move through. It will gradually, the more you work on it, the more you heal it, the more that you move through it, it will just become a memory, and your body will feel so much safer and lighter. But like anything, you have to actually implement steps and tools to help you get forward. If you are going to run a marathon, you would be buying your gels, you'll be eating food, you'll be training, you'll be tracking your times, you'll be buying the new shoes, you'll be doing everything that's going to support you to run that marathon. Exactly the same as anything in relationships. If you are coming into a relationship, you can't just expect for it all just to be hunky-glory and just to carry on if you haven't put in that work and effort for yourself to be able to navigate this path. Maybe he has, or he hasn't. Wherever you're at, you're going to meet at that level. But who wants to go into a relationship when you're pulling out weeds from past experiences? I know in my world, and any of my clients and the girls at the School of Sensuality, they want healthy relationships, not ones that are holding on to baggage. The reality is we've all had baggage. We've all gone through experiences in life that have shaped us in some form. It's how you choose to show up with it and how you choose to act with it. Some people it's at the back of their mind and it doesn't really affect them, and it might not affect the other person in the relationship as well, and others do. So you need to be mindful of who you are and the type of relationship that you want. Often I see a lot of women come in and open in this subject before men, because women, we're creators, we create babies. You know, if we've got the ability to do that, we're very, very powerful women. Not saying that men aren't, but the women can often feel more in their body, and then the women shut themselves down because they're not having the same experience as a man, because he feels less. A man's logic is here, a man's here logically to think. A woman is here to feel. And it's completely fine if your man isn't feeling. You as a woman can feel. And if you can communicate that to your man, then you blend the thinking and the feeling we meet into the middle. But if you are closing your feelings off, if you're closing your emotions off, if you are not showing up, if you are being inauthentic, if you're not being honest, his logic is going to override that, and it's probably going to crush you in the relationship. You need to have unlimited self-love and your own backbone before stepping into a relationship. Oh, girls, this was a very, very juicy video. What has been your biggest takeaway? Is that clarity? Is that past trauma, past baggage, or really understanding who you are and what you're wanting moving forward? I'm so excited to hear from you. So maybe pop into the comments what or who are you looking for, what you need to heal and clear before you come into that relationship, and who is out there for you. I'm excited. My clients really get far in their experience of dating when they actually work through all of these and implement everything that I teach. So I'm so excited for you. See you next time.